Closing up, Rex.
A new guy staying here. Big guy. What's his name? What are you looking at?
Nothing. What are you doing?
Hey, relax. Just want to take a peek. Let's just say that I'm interested in the clientele, all right?
Yeah.
They all say yes. Eventually.
3 guys were out hunting in the woods when one of them, Dale, spotted a rabbit. Without wasting a second, he went full Rambo, unloading his whole magazine at the poor bunny, but missed every single shot. His buddies burst out laughing, which ticked him off big time. Furious and humiliated, Dale stormed off chasing the rabbit, determined to kill something to redeem himself. As he reached the edge of a cliff and took aim, things took a wild turn. Out of nowhere, Ryan Garrett, an ex-cop on a revenge mission, popped up. He asked Dale if he remembered his wife, Mary Ann. As Dale's face registered recognition, Ryan gave him a cold shove off the cliff. Just like that, Dale was gone. Ryan had been haunted by brutal dreams of his wife and son's murder and was on a personal warpath. He traced the biker gang responsible, the Circle, to a notorious little town called Hope. His first stop, a local shop to ask about a motel. The lady inside directed him to speak with someone named Darcy. Meanwhile, FBI agent Frank was updating his team about the murder of Ryan's wife and kid. Dale was their top suspect, but they were too late. His body had just been discovered. Frank figured their mystery vigilante had struck again, now responsible for 3 deaths. At the morgue, the coroner said Dale's throat was crushed like a soda can, meaning whoever did this had serious strength. Ryan cruised into town, driving slowly past a shady bar known to be a hangout for the gang. After checking into the motel with Darcy and booking 2 nights, he headed to his room. Back at the bar, one of the gang members was about to shoot a stray dog when Ryan stepped in. He took the guy down effortlessly but spared his life, walking away calmly. Right then, more gang members stepped out, led by their leader Drake. He was confused. Who the hell attacks one of his guys and just walks away? Ryan dropped Drake's name, clearly letting him know he wasn't some random traveler. But the gang just laughed it off and walked away, clueless about the storm that was coming their way. The next day, Ryan sat on the porch chatting with Darcy. She admired his classic 68 GTX and shared that her late husband was a car fanatic too. She offered him a smoke and a drink. He politely declined. When she asked what he did for a living, he joked he was a horse jockey. Smooth deflection. Elsewhere, Drake was working out at the gang's hideout. One of his guys, Rex, informed him that someone who owed money was ready to face him. Drake decided to make it interesting. 1 round in the electrified cage and the debt's cleared. The guy built like a tank agreed, but despite his size, he didn't stand a chance. Drake beat him senseless and left him twitching. Drake suspected someone was stealing drugs from their stash, so he sent Rex to check it out. But Ryan was already waiting at the drug house. When Rex arrived, the sketchy dealer there spilled that Ryan was staying at Darcy's motel. Now Rex had a target. That night, as Darcy was closing up, Rex barged in demanding info on the new guest. She stood her ground. He slapped her, grabbed her gun, and held it to her head. Just when things looked bad, Ryan showed up, knocked Rex out cold, and saved her. Darcy told him that Rex was Drake's brother. Ryan already knew and didn't give a damn. Rex woke up strapped to the hood of Ryan's car, freaked out. He begged for mercy and swore he was acquitted. Ryan didn't care. Knowing Rex's dark past with young girls, Ryan gagged him, floored the gas, and sent the car crashing into a building. Boom. Flames everywhere. That car must have had rocket fuel. Drake woke up with a gut feeling something was wrong. When he heard about the explosion and his brother's death, he was livid. At the scene, he threatened the sheriff, who tried to calm him down. But Drake was done talking. He returned to his men and held a gun salute for Rex. Later, Ryan visited a church and sat in confession, thinking about his wife and those masked men in his dreams. Meanwhile, Darcy, sensing danger, kept her gun ready. When Ryan knocked on her door, she warned him that Drake owned the town, police included. Her husband once tried to take them down, but got killed for it. At first, she told Ryan to leave. But realizing she was all alone, she changed her mind and asked him to stay. Next day, a deputy approached Darcy, asking questions about Ryan. She played it cool. At the FBI office, Frank found out about Rex's death and realized it matched the pattern. Another abuser gone. He also learned that Rex was Drake's brother, and Drake was high on the ATS wanted list. Frank didn't think Ryan had left town, mainly because the gang wouldn't let him. Back at the motel, Darcy brought Ryan some coffee and casually dropped that there could be around 30 bikers in town. Ryan wasn't worried. She saw his packed bags and figured he was leaving, but he agreed to stay one more night. Darcy wanted to cook for him. Meanwhile, Kirby, the guy working on Ryan's car, got cornered by Drake's men. They dragged him to Drake, who demanded info on Rex's murder. Drake told Kirby to spy on Ryan and report back if he saw anything weird. At the police station, they finally learned Ryan's backstory, a highly decorated cop from Dallas. Now the big question, why was he in Hope? The next morning, Drake's men were moving a drug shipment when one of the trucks blew a tire. As the driver stepped out, Ryan ambushed him and told him to walk. He opened the truck, found loads of cocaine, lit a gasoline trail, and walked away as the truck went up in flames. Drake was furious when he got the news, but had no idea who was behind it. Kirby, back in town, was still fixing Ryan's car when Ryan showed up. He had newspaper clippings about Ryan's murdered family, which he tried to hide. Ryan confronted him about spying, and Kirby admitted it. Drake made him do it. Surprisingly, Ryan told Kirby to go ahead and keep reporting. Whatever Drake wanted to know, let him know. Soon after, one of the gang members, Crab, showed up outside. Ryan stepped out to meet him. Crab thought he was tough, until the fight started. Ryan wrecked him, even when Crab grabbed a wrench. Didn't matter. Ryan beat him down like it was nothing. Ryan lets Crab walk free, fully aware that he'll run straight to Drake. And that's exactly what happens. Crab warns Drake, who then confronts the town sheriff to ask what went down with the shipment. The sheriff plays dumb, swearing he had no hand in it, but he eventually spills a bit about Ryan. Drake hands him some cash and tells him to stay out of it, and more importantly, to keep the town clean of any law enforcement or federal agents sniffing around. Meanwhile, Ryan drives past the dock and spots some of Drake's crew moving cargo. His car is loaded with guns, and as he watches them, he's hit with another memory of his family being murdered. Just then, the deputy sheriff rolls up and notices Ryan's weapons. Ryan straight up asks if he's about to be arrested, but the deputy, clearly aware of Ryan's mission, tells him to hold off. He's expecting trouble soon, but he's not ready yet. He wants time to rally a few other deputies who aren't on Drake's payroll. Ryan asks him if he's one of the good guys. The deputy just says he's trying. Later that evening, Ryan shows up late at Darcy's place for dinner. She brings up his family, but he dodges the topic. Instead, he pours himself a drink, probably his first in years, and finally opens up. His family was murdered during a turf war involving biker gangs, and his department was deeply involved in shutting it down. Elsewhere, Kirby's working at his garage but can't shake off a bad vibe. He grabs his gun just in case, but makes the mistake of dozing off. That's when Drake and his goons show up. Turns out, Drake found out Kirby helped Ryan. Kirby begs for mercy, but Drake starts ranting about his prison days. Apparently, when he was young, he was badly tortured by inmates, but later got revenge. After getting out, he hunted down the cops who sent him away and made sure their family suffered too. Later, the deputy stumbles across a horrifying scene. Kirby's dead body dumped on a tow truck. Ryan and Darcy arrive, and the deputy tries to block her from seeing the gruesome sight. She pulls a gun on him in her panic, but he manages to calm her down. Ryan, however, takes off. He's ready to handle things his own way. Meanwhile, Agent Frank shows up in town and meets with the sheriff to investigate all the killings. But the sheriff brushes him off, claiming it's all just a series of unfortunate events. Back at a local bar, Drake's guys are chilling and playing pool when Ryan walks in. Rex, one of Drake's top men, doesn't take any chances and has everyone jump Ryan, even a random lady with no clue what she's gotten herself into. But Ryan takes the beating like a tank and dishes it back tenfold. He grabs a pool cue and starts wrecking everyone. Rex tries to shoot him, but ends up hitting one of his own guys. Ryan eventually knocks him out cold, and in the next shot, he's seen stuffing Rex's body in his trunk. Drake, drinking at the bar, hears the commotion and rushes outside, just in time to see Ryan peel out with Rex's burning body. Furious, he tells his crew to go all out. No survivors. Ryan then recalls his son's birthday party, a happy day that turned into a bloodbath. His wife had been upset about him carrying a gun, but before they could argue, 3 masked men stormed the yard and opened fire. Everyone was killed, his wife, his kid, and Ryan barely made it. His boss at the time refused to tell him who was behind it. Ryan eventually tracked down the shooters and stormed their hideout, gunning them all down in a blaze of vengeance. Back in the present, the deputy is at home when Frank shows up. That's when the deputy reveals he's actually the sheriff's son. He explains that the group once known as the Circle used to protect the town until Drake took over and turned it into a hub for drugs and weapons. As Drake's crew prepares for all-out war, Darcy is alone again in her motel when she hears something suspicious. She grabs her gun, but it's already too late. Drake's men surround the place. Ryan shows up in time, and they hide while the gang breaks into the room. Once inside, Ryan flips the lights and takes them out one by one. One guy with a rifle bursts in, but Ryan drops him with 2 clean shots. They try to escape, but more of Drake's crew ambushes them. Ryan is beaten, and Darcy is taken hostage. Frank and the deputy arrive at the scene after the dust settles. Realizing Darcy's gone and Ryan's missing, they call for backup. Ryan eventually wakes up tied up in the gang's lair, facing Drake, who drags Darcy in, also bound. Ryan threatens Drake, but Drake leaves, telling his men to take care of things. One thug hangs back to toy with Ryan. Turns out, it's the same guy Ryan beat up before, and he's looking for revenge. He mocks Ryan and pulls a knife, planning to carve him up slowly. But Ryan breaks free and knocks him out cold. He then fights his way through the hideout, taking down thug after thug with brutal precision. Eventually, he finds Darcy tied up and frees her. They make a break for it. Meanwhile, the deputy finds his father's lifeless body. He took his own life out of guilt. The deputy doesn't waste time grieving and declares himself the new sheriff. He and Frank load up with weapons and prep for battle. As Ryan and Darcy try to escape, they stumble across a massive stash of drugs. Drake appears and finally confronts Ryan face to face. He tells Ryan he was the 4th shooter that day, something Ryan had suspected. Drake mocks Ryan, saying he could still hear his family's screams. Ryan flips the table between them and the two go at it. The fight is brutal, both men landing powerful blows. Drake manages to get Ryan in a chokehold, but Ryan fights out of it. Drake pulls a knife and slashes him a few times, but Ryan grabs his arm and duct tapes their hands together, forcing them into a bizarre one-on-one. Ryan's punches are heavy, and he eventually drops Drake to his knees. Drake makes one last move, but Frank shoots him dead on the spot. Outside, a deputy who didn't really do anything is suddenly thanked like a hero. He tells Darcy he's stepping in as the new sheriff, barely acknowledging his father's death. Ryan is about to leave when Frank stops him. He says they have no proof to hold him and lets him go. Ryan says goodbye to Darcy and drives off, finally getting justice for his family.